And Manisha, Priyam, you can sort of dive into that. We've given the big picture that after Bihar, NDA is 286 out of 543. That's going below the 300 mark. Where are they losing out? Maharashtra, Bihar, Karnataka, and we'll give those numbers also to our viewers who've just joined us. In Maharashtra, in Bihar, in Karnataka, NDA is having losses. Where is the NDA holding on to, or the BJP primarily? Uttar Pradesh and most of North India. What we seem to see therefore, Manisha, Priyam, the big picture is regional satraps and alliances of the opposition giving the BJP a challenge, but Congress versus BJP states, BJP ahead, and most importantly, who do you want as your Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, well ahead of the competition? What does that suggest about the kind of democracy we are in at the moment? Are we basically in a democracy that identifies with the individual, and Mr. Modi's popularity is even higher than that of the BJP on the ground?
It's a democracy that believes in performers, and remember, it's no longer about the index of opposition unity and swing votes that I remember that these were the backbone of analysis about a decade ago. It's now the performers. Remember, in each of these arenas, people are looking at people, leaders, political leaders who can deliver, who can respond. Mr. Modi is fast at course correction. Mr. Modi has an eye to the granular. In Varanasi, even in the last assembly elections, where I could see there were a lot of fights about the Kashi Vishwanath seat and the neighboring Rohania seat, etc. Each of those granular details, Mr. Modi was parked there, and the average Banarsi on the street would say, Modi ji aa jayenge, sab kuch theek ho jayega. So the belief in the leader that he can politically stitch things together, the belief that the leader will course correct, and the belief that the leader will deliver on important issues, these are things that uphold Mr. Modi's popularity. It's not as much about charisma as the fact that he's seen as a real doer on the ground, and I believe that's something that will give him a momentum ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. A lot of the regional satraps will be seen as people who are respected in state level elections. People will say for two different elections, two different leaders. That's the model that's come to stay as far as we can see Mr. Modi and a lot of what happens in the state elections. Having said this, Mr. Modi will also benefit by having stronger chief ministers in some of the BJP ruled states now. That could include a Karnataka, that could include even a Madhya Pradesh, where they've had to, snatch victory from wherever it was lying in defeat. So they will the BJP also will have to invest in better state level chief ministers, stronger doer chief ministers.
Okay.
A Yogi and a Modi together works. It doesn't happen any other way around.